Hey everyone, SDM Kahuna back again with another SDM podcast, joined yet again by Outcast Zero and SDM Richie. So, Outcast, how are we doing this week?
Not bad, yeah.
Very well, thank you for asking.
Are we going to be keeping this to like a shortened version this time?
You know what? It's like this will be the most disciplined podcast we've ever done. It's probably not. It's like you know what pains me is like when I look at the podcast list, there was a beautiful moment about 3 podcasts ago where it came in at 34 minutes. And that was a happy time for me.
That must have been a boring episode.
I don't think we talked about much. The last 2 have both topped over an hour. So it's like, oh God. And I haven't recorded anywhere near enough footage to actually back end that this week. So we'll see what we come up with. It might just be a still image. But Richie, how we doing, my man?
Not too bad. I've moved out of Wayne Manor, as you can hear.
Yeah, you had to downsize a little, didn't we?
I did, yeah. I've got the exterminators in.
God damn it.
There's a bat problem.
It's a severe back problem.
Flying vermin, you gotta hate those. But I mean, I feel your pain now because if you're at Wayne Manor, you must be in the Hamptons and your winter house or something like that. Or do you summer in the Hamptons and it's
it's winter in Aspen.
Winter in Aspen, got it.
Yeah,
I lose track.
I'm just in a cabin, you know.
He's in a cabin out on the ice, just a little shack, doing some fishing.
Me and 10 Swedish supermodels.
Say hi to Olga for me, will you?
Each have a worm.
Tell Sven I miss him.
Oh,
wait a minute.
This went the wrong way.
Sven, what are you not telling me?
Oh yeah, you can't trust those Swedes. You cannot trust those Swedes.
I'm sorry, Richie. But I love him.
God, this just dived off a cliff really quickly, didn't it?
You took it here.
I know. It's
we
like
Outcast are very, you're being strong and silent, and you're coming in with this kind of thing.
A lot of people think that he's the innocent one, but it really is the other way around.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, are there any of us who are innocent? Let's be honest, yeah. Let's be pragmatic about the subject.
Totally innocent.
My arse. Oh, dearie me. So again, we find ourselves here for another info and entertainment-packed podcast. So, gents, I'm going to throw it out to the floor. Who wants to start us off this week?
Well, I've been reading about this absolutely ridiculous thing, which is someone to change the org petition up to get Modern Warfare 2 remade for modern consoles, because apparently they're moaning that it's too much hacking going on in the PS3 and 360 versions.
Yeah, because there's one thing I distinctly remember. Oh, sorry.
Why are they still playing it? It's like there's been hacking since like day 2.
Yeah. I mean, I did like the game. I mean, I even bought the special Xbox 360 of the Modern Warfare 2. This was pretty cool, but I really don't think it warrants current gen release.
Definitely not. Like, it's got a lot of supporters. It's sitting at exactly 111,728 supporters. I mean, it needs 38,272 to reach its 150,000 goal. But like half Infinity Ward and like that made this game are not even at Infinity Ward anymore, and I'm pretty sure it was over this game.
Yeah, there was a small incident of performance-based gratuities not getting paid out to the staff of Infinity Ward who were promised X number of millions based on sales and performance results for the game.
I remember that.
Yeah, because it was Jason West and Vince Sampella who basically filed a class action lawsuit against Activision, and then obviously Activision's lawyers went, we'll settle out of court. And then Ola, Respawn Entertainment, who currently reside with Electronic Arts.
Yeah, well, it's like there was another petition for this exact same thing I found when I was trying to find the actual change the org position rather than the article I read, and that closed and finished with 58 supporters. So I'm surprised this one's got like as far as it did. Much just because it's got a bit more media coverage than the last one. So
well, that's the thing. It's like if I do believe it's like if we could get one of these videos on like some traction on something like IGN, GameSpot, or Reddit or something like that, then yeah, we'd probably end up getting a few more hits as well, just by sheer, cult of personality more than anything else. People go, oh, what's this? Let's click on it. But it's one of these things. It's like, I mean, I love Modern Warfare 2. Hell, I've still got the I bought like the special edition with the night vision goggles, as we all remember, that were pretty goddamn awful, but they look cool on a shelf.
It's not good. Like, if they want to make anything, make Modern Warfare 1. Give me an up graphics version of Modern Warfare 1. Like, Call of Duty 4 was, like, for me, is the best Call of Duty game that's ever been made.
Amen to that.
Great story, great
So did.
characters. It's got everything you need in it. There was, like, minimum hacking until quite late on into it.
It's one of these things as well. It's like, because the kill streaks, in my opinion, because the kill streaks were like really simple. It's like, what was it? 3 was your UAV. 5 was... What the hell was 5 again? Because 7 was the attack chopper.
An airstrike.
5 was the airstrike, that was it. And it's like, that was it. There was none of this, let's get 25 kills, camping in a corner and get the fucking nuke. Because that sped up gameplay and forced everybody out in the open, didn't it? Oh wait, what was the opposite of that?
Yeah. I remember it's like, I think it was Modern Warfare 2, one of the emblems you can get was like an 8-bit price.
Oh yes.
And that was like the most, I got that, and that was like the most difficult thing I've ever done on a Modern Warfare game. Because basically you had to get a 10 kill streak with no kill streak rewards added on. And I was just like sitting there in this corner, and I ran out of bullets at one point, and I was on number 9, and I'm sitting there with my knife in my hand, and I'm like, oh my god.
So
Oh my
stressful.
God. I'm just stuck behind this stupid little thing, and this guy ran past me, and I was like, why did you not see me? And I knifed him in the back, and I got it, and then I got shot, and I was like, this is the greatest moment of my life.
It's like, there's one thing that I will always remember fondly about Modern Warfare 2, despite its flaws. It was still one of my favorites, but I do agree with you guys. It's like Modern Warfare was the best of the bunch. Black Ops probably coming in second, and Modern Warfare 2 probably sitting joint second, third maybe. But that's when you remember Terminal, and it had I was going to say like the Big Kahuna burger, but you know, it had like the burger store in the upper northeast corner of the map, and it's like we were all in a game. It's like 4 of us. There was Rich, there was myself, there was my wife who was playing at the time, and I think SDM Rook was playing as well, or going under Ghost 807 as I think it was back in those days. And despite the fact that these guys camped out that corner like a Boy Scout battalion in the middle of Jamboree season, it's like we took them to school, and it was just awesome when they started to actually figure out that the winning side had outplayed them, out-kill-streaked them, and just absolutely devastated them. Had a woman in the side as well, and they all started leaving the lobby after the game. It was just like that for me was like satisfaction.
Yeah, and I love the game. I think it'd rate as number 2 for me if it didn't have so much hacking on it. Yeah, towards the end, it was just ridiculous the amount of hacking that went on in this game. And I understand why they're moaning. It's just like, you know, it's time to move on, people.
Yeah, 2007 was a long time ago.
Yes.
It wasn't yesterday, but
Feels like it was.
speak for
those guys.
Speak for yourself.
But in Modern Warfare 1, that's when you know, SDM was formed as SDM. We were just
really?
yeah, man. It's like we were all something else before that. Like we were like the Roughnecks back on Planetside.
Oh god,
Outcast. And there was a few other ones in there in between, but that was the first time we all come together as SDM, was Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4.
The Roughnecks, man. We've got to make that the elite crew of SDM.
Well, that's just me, you, and Rook, CERN, Ghost, whatever his name is these days.
Jebediah.
The man has a bigger identity crisis than Prince, doesn't he?
The thing is, every single person, it's a different person for each name. It's all trapped in one body, you know?
But all strangely from the same IP. I can never figure it out.
Yeah. This is just to see if you watch it. I want a comment.
Sound off in the comment section down below if you are any one of these 3 people. And if you are any one of these 3 people, watch the video 3 times.
from a different IP.
I can't say that. YouTube will pull my partnership status if I can say what I was going to say.
Click on those ads.
Oh no! Don't! It's not his video. Please don't take that advice seriously, please. But yeah, no, it's like, but yeah. Speaking of moving on,
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Yeah. Outcast, you've been doing more on the Resident Evil Revelations series, and then you were voicing some fairly strong opinions about it earlier, weren't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been having a few issues on my own side of things, recording wise, but the game itself doesn't exactly help you out. But due to the fact that it's got quite a few bugs and crashes and such like that, and it isn't just basically on one side, it is on pretty much everything. It seems to be the PS4 it's getting hit the most. I have seen quite a bit on the PC. I've not heard too much on the Xbox One in terms of any bugs or anything like that. I mean, there is the usual suspects, but I mean, I've been getting like crazy stuttering and freezes, and the frame rates will drop all of a sudden. And really, I was seeing it on episode 1 and 2, but only slightly. And then when, obviously today, episode 3 came out, and oh my fucking god, it's like non-stop. Like the character will just jump about the screen almost like she's taking a fit or something like that.
It's actually getting worse.
Yeah, it seems to be like, I don't know what it is, whether or not they're throwing out these episodes as fast as they can and not really doing too much quality control on them. But it seems to be getting worse as we're going along. And it seems to be more on the Claire Redfield side of the story for some whatever reasons. But I mean, a few things that are happening to a lot of people is basically you can't even download the game from Steam. Strange one. Files are missing, which is even stranger.
That's probably a bad image upload, I imagine. Not the first time that's happened on Steam, unfortunately, but yeah, a bit bizarre.
You're getting some DLL files missing or crashing or anything like
Corrupted,
that. Yeah. The usual game crashing on startup, that's like a fairly common thing. And like I said, the stuttering, stutters and freezes, but if you're playing it on the PC, you can disable anti-aliasing.
Easy for you to say.
And VSync and stuff like that, and that should help on the stuttering issues. And a lot of people complain about not being able to change the resolution, which I've never actually noticed myself. I've been able to change it, no problem.
You know what I'd actually be really interested to know is like kind of segueing in there, but some of my favorite things in the last year or so of gaming has been some of the copyright protection that developers have put into games.
Yeah.
And one of my all-time favorites was with Far Cry 4, because there were a whole bunch of people that started bitching, moaning, pissing, complaining on the forums, saying like, "Oh, this sucks. On the PC version, I don't have a field of view adjustment. I can't change it. It's just not possible." And then basically, the moderators from Ubisoft came on the forums and said, "So you're complaining about not having a field of view adjustment? Congratulations, you've just confirmed you have a pirated copy of the game." I was like, "Oh, that is genius." I'd love to see if that's actually things like that. I'd love to
give. Another game that did that. I can't remember. It was like I can't remember what the name of the game was, but you went inside an elevator and you couldn't get out of the elevator.
That was Talos Project. I'm clutching at straws, but I think that might be the one.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, rather than that, the game itself, Resident Evil Revelations 2, is okay. It's episode 3 is very puzzle heavy. It's literally. I mean, you've got episode 1 where it kind of just introduces you to what's going on with a little bit of action. Episode 2, loads of action. Episode 3, it's like puzzle. Every way you turn, there's a goddamn puzzle.
So,
a little bit too much.
In other words, you're having fun times. It sounds, but
yeah, it's like I said to you earlier. If you're going to get the game and you're not too bothered about like jumping on it as soon as it's fresh off the press, wait until all the episodes out and just play it all in one sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't seen my videos on it, be sure to check out my channel. There will be an annotation on the screen right now, and there should be something in the description. So check them out.
You're assuming there's going to be an annotation.
There better be.
That's very bold.
I know what you like for your annotations.
Oh man, more typing. Come on, give me a break. But yeah, no.
I got annotations. There'll be another annotation on the screen. No.
This one will lead you to nowhere.
If literally anybody stuck with this podcast up to this stage, they're going to find out the fact is I've just given up hope at this stage and I'm not bothering anymore. It's just like,
the entire video is just a giant annotation.
It's just a screen grab of an annotation for the next however many long minutes this is going to run.
It's like the old school when someone used to leave the computer unlocked and used to take a screenshot of the desktop and hide everything, so it still looked like everything was open, and they come back and click like mad thinking it's broken.
It's like, what?
That is 90s comedy right there.
You know
That's
what?
So funny.
You know what? True story. The amount of times I do that at work, it's like I'll take a screen grab of something that I'm sending to someone as a client saying blah, 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 you want to click on this, do this, and here's where you want to go, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll go back to my desktop and I'll be like, right, okay, I want to, that's the bloody screen grab. I don't actually want to click on that. So why can't I access this mailbox? It's like, it's not a mailbox, it's a fucking image. But, well, keeping the pace up and moving things forward, I do believe Ricardo has a next one, don't you, sir?
I do. So, Devil May Cry, Ninja Theory, the developer of it, have removed what they call sexually suggestive dialogue from the definitive edition, which was released yesterday, the 10th of March.
For all of those who didn't play it the first time.
Basically, it's just like one scene from what I can see, and it's just a bit of dialogue. So the dialogue goes, there's two characters. I've never played the game, so, so I just think this is quite funny. But there's a character called Mundus, and there's one called Lilith, and they're talking. And one guy's like, I will control the world through debt. I have absolute power. Now, this is on the original one, and the other character, Lilith, replied, the world is at last your bitch, as am I. Nothing left but to grab it by the hair, bend it over, and then she gets cut off, and then it goes on to the rest of the scene. And they've cut it after the word bitch. Now, they're saying that it's not due
to... have to take a moment.
They're saying it's not due to the explicit nature, but they want to keep the pacing of the scene.
It's like, literally, it's like, I have played the game, and it's like, I've got I didn't bother with the console version, I picked it up on Steam, and it's literally a case of, that cutscene is about 2 minutes long, the full thing. It's like, that is like 10 seconds of dialogue from it. It's like, how the hell, you've had the game out for 18 months, nearly 2 years. Why did this... I don't get it. It makes zero sense.
Me too. It's like, I know it's like they've released it because, like, if you look at, like, there's a couple of YouTube videos where it shows the graphics changes compared to, like, 360 and Xbox One and stuff like that, and it does look a lot better, it's like the textures are better, it's got better shading and things like that in it. But this is obviously the PC upgrade's been rolling in and had their saying. That's pretty much that.
How much is it anyway?
I am not sure.
It's actually, I think, if memory serves, it's not full price in the UK. I think if you are buying it store bought or something like that, you're probably looking about 25 to 30 quid, depending. I'm sure you'll get probably cheaper deals and stuff online. You know what? I really enjoyed the Devil May Cry series. I actually liked what Ninja Theory did. I liked Heavenly Sword. I liked Enslaved. I like the combat mechanics that they do. This carries on perfectly from that, and the style, the humor, and the pacing of the game I thought were really, really good. Actually, now that the fact that Definitive Edition's come out, it makes me want to reinstall it and go back and play it again. But just minus all the extra stuff that you get with the Definitive Edition, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was. I think there's moving on to a new topic. I just want to insert in the middle here because. I know this wasn't on the script. I know Fraser's shaking his chair right now.
What?
Basically, it's like it segues in quite nicely. It's Hardline. They've released the resolutions that Hardline's going to run in on the consoles.
Yes.
Which is quite interesting because on the PS4 it's going to run at 900p, and on the Xbox One it's going to run in 720p. And they've said that the PC version is not going to be a port, it is going to be a proper version for the PC. So for all you PC people out there, expect stunning graphics and put your Lord Up hats on to show us console guys what it's like and why you should get a PC over a console.
PC Master Race for the win!
I better go and order my hat.
Exactly.
It's like, wait, I have to stand in a suitably heroic pose right now.
Is that next to your Xbox One and your PS4? Is that where you're going to stand?
Look, just because I'm in the middle of a silicon sandwich doesn't mean anything, okay?
Silicon sandwich.
If it weren't for the PC, we wouldn't be able to do all this now, would we? Oh, it's one of these things. It's like, we've discussed many times. Is like, I hate fanboyism in all all its wonderful forms and glorious taints and colors and everything else. But no, it is nice to see. It's a bit bizarre though, because it's like I do remember from playing. Damn, you've derailed me again, Rich. You son of a bitch. I can't help myself. But no, it's like I do remember. It's like I did play the beta on the Xbox One, and I must admit I presumed obviously because it was beta, it was early build code, so I was expecting a bit of a bump. But I did have to say, it's like I did play it on both the PC and on the Xbox One, and obviously the one thing the PC has got over any of the consoles right about now is the ability to do, anti-aliasing. The consoles, obviously, at the moment, I don't think they're ever really going to be able to get that much out of the hardware to do it, but I did think, dear God in heaven, it didn't look that good on the Xbox One. At the end of the day, that doesn't derive from the gameplay. I still wasn't overly bowled over by that, but yeah, 720 upscale to 1080p, you're not going to notice at the end of the day, especially on a big screen, but yeah, it's a bit disappointing to say the least, and I am surprised actually that the PlayStation 4 is only churning out at 900p.
Yeah, it's like the thing that reminded me of that was the fact that this new version of Devil May Cry is coming at 60 FPS at 1080p. So
yeah, no props at all. Yeah, they've upscaled it. They've redone all the assets in DirectX 11, added all the new lighting effects, and as you said before, the comparisons between the original build and this one, it does look pretty much identical to the PC version.
Mm-hmm.
And all credit to Ninja Theory for that. That wasn't just a simple reskin. And upping the resolutions of the old textures.
Yep.
But yeah, I suppose actually it's like since I'm already disappointed by the fact you've added an extra 5 minutes to my runtime, I will continue on with my vein of disappointment. And yet again, Project Cars has been delayed for the third damn time. Slightly Mad Studios, you know what? It's like
it's going to be like another Duke Nukem. It's going to be delayed for about 14 years, and then it's going to come out, and it's going to be like the worst game that anyone's ever made.
So outdated.
There's very real risk of that happening. Now, it's like, don't get me wrong, this game is going to be quite divisive between the hardcore simulation brigade and those who, because it's coming out on all platforms, obviously. So you're going to try and capture the Gran Turismo crowd from PlayStation, the Forza crowd from Xbox, but it's got a real hard time on PC, where the niche market is at its strongest with games like iRacing, Live for Speed, Assetto Corsa, which have really strong, dedicated hardcore followings. But they came out. It was due to come out in November originally, and then Namco Bandai said, well, we don't want to release it because, we want to give it the best chance. It's a new IP. We don't want to release it at Christmas time. Well, we all thought that was a bit weird because there wasn't a big racing title out that time of year. So they knocked it back to May. And then a couple of weeks ago, they knocked it back to April, saying, no, we just need to finalise a few things. So, right, okay, it wasn't competition. The game's got issues. And then lo and behold, 2 weeks later again, they're going, yeah, we're knocking it back to... it was not back to March, April, and now May. And it's like they've actually come out with a statement going, the game is 99.9% complete, but attending to the remaining 0.1%, made up of small issues and bugs, has been tricky. It's like, how can you get through 99.9% of a game? Is it that the cop's after me now because I'm complaining too much? Hide. But yeah, it's like, it's just, yeah, moving on. Oh, it's me again, isn't it? Damn it.
It is.
And again, why am I bringing the bad news this week? This is one I'm not quite surprised with, but it certainly carries on with the same vein of disappointment. Is for anybody who saw the tech demo of Uncharted 4, that is a hugely impressive looking game, and we expected nothing less. I mean, The Order 1886 is a stunning looking game. It's a bit pants, but it's a stunning looking game.
Mm-hmm.
The Uncharted series has always been pretty solid. Generic at times, but good voice acting, good story, fun gameplay, and certainly always a graphical masterpiece on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, it's like pushed the boundaries of
what
the
it could do.
console. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those key games where it's like, this is what our console can do graphically.
Exactly. Naughty Dog got full support from Sony and got the most out of what that cell processor could do with all the little coding wizardry that it was capable of doing in the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously now we've gone across to x86 again, and they're pushing what the console can do above anybody else. And Naughty Dog are always certainly someone to watch on that front. But they've turned round, and another great excuse. This one I like at least has a little bit of Liberace's bravado to it. You know, the game's just too ambitious. We're trying too much, so we're having to push it back a bit. And it's like, oh, Christ, okay. So, again, 2015 becomes a little thinner on the ground for big first-party titles and such, because that's another one that's probably going to... It's been knocked back to 2016, so... It's been a sad day for the old delay news. So,
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to hand over to Abby. He's like, you need to give us something more positive, man.
Not really much of a positive one for me. If you guys are in the middle of playing or are interested in Life is Strange, I have done a few videos on it, and there's an annotation come up on your screen right now, Sam. Episode 2 of Life is Strange delayed. You guys have probably seen
Not
this,
another delay!
but the original story was a Square Enix rep basically came out and says that it had been delayed until further notice, and that was
never
pretty
good.
much it.
That sounds ominous.
But recently on Twitter, basically the Life is Strange team on Twitter have basically said that there have been rumors of episode 2 delay, but development is on track, and we're looking to release before the end of March.
There's an annotation to that tweet right now.
Right now, straight to the tweet. 27th of February 2015 at 2:20 p.m. So,
Motherfucker.
and if you don't see an annotation, send all your hate mail straight to SDM Kahuna, or leave a
And
comment below.
I'd like to announce to all the fans who watched the podcast, all three of you, you are appreciated. This will be the last podcast.
So yeah, thoughts, feelings, all the rest of it on the current hold up for Square Enix's Life is Strange. Leave them below in the old comment section.
Let's look, for the love of God, let's talk about something more positive, shall we?
Steamboxes!
Steamboxes! Indeed, we kind of missed out on this one a little bit from the announcements at GDC last week. For those of you that are hardcore PC players, you can't help but know what Steam is. It is proof that you don't have to make games to be successful in gaming. Just sell everybody else's. That's the way to go.
And make the world's worst anti-cheat software that ever existed, ever.
I shall hear nothing negative about VEC. No, it's pretty goddamn awful. It is.
Punkbuster or go home, that's my thing.
Oh my god.
Wait a minute, I've been locked out of my Steam account? What? Gabe, you're listening? Damn you! But no, it is pretty awful. Well, yeah, Steamboxes it's quite interesting. I must admit, it's like I haven't had a play with Steam OS. I am quite intrigued to set it up on a hard drive and give it a whirl, since there are some interesting titles coming out on it. However, my biggest kind of bugbear, and this is the one I'm going to throw out for the discussion point in this one, is I think I have something like about 230 games in my Steam library at the moment. And there is probably something like about 40 odd titles that are getting SteamOS support, including massive AAA titles like Batman Arkham Knight. Now, here's the thing. With 40 titles on a fairly untested and certainly an unproven maybe a bit harsh, an unknown is probably the better word, quantity, which is SteamOS, is that going to convince you, as a consumer and a gamer, to spend a minimal of what appears to be about $450 for the entry-level Steam box to get something that is dedicated to play this? Now, I will throw in the caveat, it has been said that all Steam boxes because of the standard standard PC equipment. You know, you can wipe it and stick Windows on it if you want. Knock yourself out. You know, SteamOS is free. But it's hugely smart. You know, Valve are certainly going to make more money. They are very, very good at doing that. Thoughts, opinions?
Right, it's like I've been looking over some of the Steam boxes, on the actual Steam site themselves.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be really confused, look up the Origin Omega Steam machine because it's got like 5 pictures of it, and like the first one and all the rest of them are completely different machines. So I've no idea what's going on there. But
We just make it up as we go along.
A generic case or a generic company that's making them for them, because you look at a lot of them, like there's one like by Scan Computers, there's one by something called the Alternate Steam Machine, and even like the first one on that Origin Eclipse, the cases are identical on every single one of them. So there's obviously some generic company that's making them for them, and they're just popping on their badges, they're just rebadging it, which I think's a bit cheap, seeing as they're charging like loads of extra money for them. You know, it's like
it's
you
a
look
bit
at some of these,
cheeky, isn't it?
like the Scan one here is like it's $1,000 to $1,300, and it's like you look at like the specs for it, and it's like it's got an i3 in it with a 750 Ti, 8 gig of RAM, and 120 gig SSD. And it's like, you know, I'm in the UK, but for the equivalent pounds of it, like $1,000, I could build a far superior machine to that. I can actually go to PC World and buy a far superior machine for half the price.
That's my
Oh,
issue.
as your
with it.
legal counsel, I'll step in and say that would actually be a bit of a push out of PC World. But yeah, I know
I've
where
seen the
you're going with
PCs
the
that
original
like
step.
an i3 with a 750 or something like that. There's no way that it cost you anywhere near 700 quid.
Yeah.
Well, I custom built my PC. I've got an i7 4790K overclocked to 4 gig, 16 gig of Vengeance RAM, SSD. Got a flipping basically the GTX. What hell graphics card we got?
970.
That's it,
970.
970. You know, I've got the works in the bloody thing.
You're welcome.
and I was £1,600, and that's including like fancy keyboard and mouse and a monitor. So yeah, I mean.
I would say it's like SteamOS, give it a go. Steam boxes, don't waste your money.
Yeah.
But get a custom built PC from one of the custom built PC websites if you don't want to build your
Exactly.
own, or just buy a standard PC and get it installed on there. You know, it's like the custom PC ones. They'll soon enough pick up SteamOS if it goes well. But
That's my main issue with it.
You look at some of the pictures of them, and I think what they design it as is so you buy like the Steam box, you buy the Steam controller, and you sit it next to your TV, and that's what you use to play it with. And it's like, well, some of these are like twice the size of my PC, for Christ's sake. Some of them are quite small. Like, who is the one that's got one? Let me look down this list. I cannot find it. One of them, anyway. It's like a gigabyte. There you go.
Oh, yeah, the Gigabyte one, yeah.
Bricks Pro looks quite small.
It's a tiny, small form factor. Yeah, I've seen that.
And it looks quite cool, you know? It's like, it's got an i7 in it. It's only running Iris Pro graphics, so you won't be able to play the most intensive games that ever existed.
Solitaire's still fun.
Yeah, well, you probably still play quite a lot of the games, you know? It's like the Iris Pro graphics are not too bad these days, but you'll be able to. I don't understand why you'd buy. Like you spend $600 on a tiny machine that's got,
I would have expected for
grade.
that money, if you were going to use like a small form factor GPU, Tegra surely would have been the way to go.
Well, I think I don't know what Tegra runs on Linux, so to speak. Outside the Android community, and how well it runs on x86 architecture over ARM.
Well, I was looking at them and I was like, how can I use a control pad to run a spreadsheet? Because that's pretty much all these fuckers are useful for, to be honest.
Well, some of them is like, you look at the Asus ROG GR8S, which it looks quite cool. It looks like a funky folder type thing. And, from like sitting beside your TV and things like that, it's a good centerpiece. And that's pretty, action-packed. They've not released the full graphics for it, but it'll have a 9 series card in it at least. But they've all come with like 500 gig or 1 terabyte drives, and it's like, like you said, you've got 230 games on a 500 gig drive. You get what, 15 maybe at a push?
Some of them are that big. Yeah, you'll chew through that in no time at all.
But there is a couple out there. Like there's one that's like the Webhalen S1501, which is very simple, sleek design. I do actually quite like the look of it. It looks like a quite good PC,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
it's sporting the Bitphoenix logo, which I know you're a Bitphoenix fan,
I am indeed.
but it doesn't have anything on it that's saying that it is made by Bitphoenix. So either it is or expect a
Or they've
lawsuit.
just bought like a or
Ah,
they've
there you
just
go,
bought a bunch
it's
of
got
cases and didn't tell
it's basically
Bitphoenix.
it's got the Bitphoenix Pandora case is why it's sporting that logo. So if anyone wants to know what that looks like, Google.
Water is converted into steam at 100 degrees centigrade.
Sweet. I didn't know that. It's converted into ice at 0 degrees.
Yeah, it's
Science.
There'll be a link in the description and an annotation on the screen right
Right
now, leading to a video that shows steam being created.
kind of annotations.
If there is no annotation, please leave a comment below with your disgust.
But
Tell
yeah,
you what, dislike
I've looked a
if
lot
there's
of
no
these.
annotation.
I've looked over a lot of these things, so I could probably talk about this all day. So I think I'll retire my Steambox talk for the moment, so we can move this on.
Moving it on ish, just a little bitty. But yeah, I do believe the next interesting. I think this definitely classifies as a fun fact for the week. This one. So
I've got to say, Rich, why?
yes, for why are you telling us this?
Basically, there is a new game coming out. So the new game that's not been delayed that's coming out this year is called Project Y, and it's for the Sega Genesis or the Sega Megadrive if you lived in Europe.
So what you're telling me is, in this modern day and age of essentially PC-based consoles and supercomputing power in your average home PC, the only bloody game that hasn't been delayed is getting developed for an obsolete system from 1992 in 16-bit.
Yes.
Hey. Whoa.
The Brazilians.
The Brazilians would not like that.
The Brazilians our Brazilian fans are not amused anymore. We just lost
And
our
why is
entire
that?
Brazilian contingent.
And why is that, Rich?
I'm a huge fan of Ayrton Senna. They have the back.
I do believe that this is still a very popular console and still manufactured to this day in Brazil.
So is the VW Beetle, but come on.
It's a solid car. Come on.
I give up. I don't have anything positive to add on this front. It's Streets of
I
Rage.
gotta look for a manufacturer in Brazil. I want a brand new flipping Megadrive / Genesis / whatever the hell it's called in Brazil.
And
Tell you
anyone-
what,
anyone
if they
wants
can
to
make
watch
if they can make me one with a revised Mega CD and 32X, I'm back on that bandwagon.
I think last week we talked about this last week.
We did indeed.
But if anyone wants a fun video, they should look up the Netflix running on a NES. It's the original Nintendo. There will be an annotation now.
There's
to the
no
video.
annotation.
Shazam!
You assholes can edit this next week. Seriously. I'll give both you. No, no bloody way I'm giving you access to my channel. That's never happening.
It's annotation filled.
It's like I can't actually see the video. There's too many annotations. It's just text everywhere.
That better happen.
I've actually watched a few videos that have had like
So
50%
many.
annotations on it. It's like, get rid of that annotation and let me watch the video, please.
It's like CFAX all over again. You're waiting for it to scroll off the screen. Come on, page four. That's the one I'm on.
Exactly. People be looking up their CFAX holidays, getting their bargains.
Sitting waiting for the football results to come in.
Oh my god, there's 37 pages and my team starts with a C and I want 30 new.
No. Oh dear, but oh Lord in heaven, I don't think I've got the energy to carry this on much longer.
Well, moving on.
Pull me through, guys. You know what? I'm just gonna rest my head on the desk. Outcast, you can take the next one.
I have no idea why I'm given in this certain subject, but anyway, if you're an Apple device user, you've probably been experiencing some issues with iTunes and other online services this morning, which is the 11th of March. And so apparently Apple have come back to whoever.
Actually, it'll probably be yesterday by the time I get this uploaded.
Back in time. Apple have got back to us and they've given the following statement. We apologize to our customers experiencing problems with iTunes and other services this morning. The cause was an internal DNS error at Apple. We're working to make all of the services available to customers as soon as possible, and we thank everyone for their patience.
You know what? There's two bits to take from this, because I kind of threw this technical tidbit Outcast way just because I find it amusing. He was complaining about getting his wife an iPhone, so that gave me no small amount of personal amusement. The two things is, I think we have to realise that, one, somebody has probably lost their job over this, and secondly, it was reported to be costing Apple $2.2 million an hour when the App Store was down.
$2 million.
Exactly. You could get some sharks with some laser beams on their head.
Frickin' heads.
Exactly.
There are not very many computer devices that I use that aren't Apple. Like, I don't actually think there are any apart from the Xbox and PS4, and I didn't know that it was down. That's how often I buy things off iTunes and the App Store.
Well, it's one of these things. Is like there is only one app on the App Store I want to buy, and it's a really cool app, which name escapes me right now. You know what? If I can find it, I will get it.
Fucking cool.
I will. You know what? When I mention it, you'll go, that is the most dullest sounding thing in the world ever. But for somebody like myself, it is pretty cool. What it is, it's an app
on the screen.
Shut up. Basically, what it does is it's a little app for your iPhone or iPod Touch or whatever, and pretty clever. What it does is it sets up a client on your PC, and if you're like me and you use a steering wheel and pedal setup, it actually gives you a real-time tachograph for what tachometer. Sorry, wrong thing entirely. So it will give you like gear readouts and rev counts for on your phone, so you can just rest your phone on your screen or on your desk or something like that, and set it up somewhere you're not going to have to lower your eyes. Gives you like a good readout. I think that's really cool. That's a clever bit of software, and the fact that it runs with like zero lag is like hugely impressive. It's like, so a shout out to that man, and I'm just searching for the name of it right now so I can give him a free plug.
There's footage at the top left corner of the screen showing you that software right now.
There was an app, and I'm pretty sure it cost something ridiculous, like 10 grand. And all it was a picture of a gold bar. And it was like, it was called something ridiculous, like the Rich Man's app. And you just like, it was one of those apps that you got it just to show that you had it, and that's how rich you were. They pulled it from the App Store, but I read about it and I thought it was like the funniest thing ever.
I wonder how many people bought that.
2.
That's you done though, is it? I mean, that took you what, 5 minutes to make that app, and then that's it. 20 grand.
That cost you about $30 in like developer fees from Apple.
Yeah, to put it onto iTunes. That's it. Done.
Proof that a fool and his money are easily parted. Go back to that old annotation. Oh, you got me saying it.
There's going to be an annotation of something right now.
Damn it! That was a Freudian slip.
Plan is working. Wow.
I meant to say saying, not annotation. Stop saying annotation.
Annotation.
I thought you were both my friends.
We are some days.
Definitely not today. Oh, for the love of God, this video is so far back in my YouTube history.
Let's just move on and then
Can't
go
take
back to it later on.
forever.
Indeed.
I swear to God.
Well, indeed. Well, here's an interesting one. Kind of ties in with a little bit of a story we were talking about earlier. Is obviously for those of you who are fans of Grand Theft Auto, and why not? It is an awesome game. Obviously, quite some time after launch of the game, and after many, many, many delays, the online heist mode was released for the game, but this has resulted in massive patches being downloaded for obviously Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and even larger patches on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, obviously. Larger textures and whatnot being brought down with that, but it pretty much broke GTA Online. Now, this was a game that was famous for not being particularly stable to begin with, but dear God in heaven, it has taken the better part of 24 hours. Now, I kind of jokingly said that obviously there's been some reports that Xbox Live for 360 users had been down the last 24 hours, and I've got a sneaking suspicion that this has been part of that issue. I mean, there's just been a huge amount of traffic that this game has generated from day one, and obviously this is the one thing that everybody's been waiting on. But yeah, again, another day, another list of outages. Seems to be quite frequent.
Yep. Take that, 360 users.
All 360 of you. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Speaking of interesting, so
oh yes,
to continue on from last week when I was talking about the Sony VR headset, there is some company has developed. I can't remember the name. It doesn't have it. I've created this add-on for the Oculus Rift, which they've called the Feel Real Mask. What it is fitted
I
with
feel
heaters.
somewhat dirty already.
Well, it's fitted with like it fits over your like mouth and things like that underneath the Rift, and
My
it's got
God.
heaters, coolers, misters, vibration engine, a microphone, and it's even got a removable cartridge with 7 smells.
Oh yeah.
So they can like show you the real experience while you're using it, and it's like.
What?
Now I've used like a VR headset, like I said, so I bought this cheap one that I was going to do a review on, but then I figured out the review would be about 4 seconds long because that's how boring VR is these days if you're not consoling it up. But it's pretty hard to feel like you're right there and in on it because you have this big giant thing, you know, a face hugger
Weighing
strapped
down on
to
your head,
face.
yeah.
And it's like, wow, my skull is being crushed and there are bits of glass pressing up against my eyeballs. This feels real. Now, unless the game I'm playing is where something is crushing my head and someone's poking my eyes out, then that'll feel real. But unfortunately, most of the games aren't like that.
One of
Fortunately.
those
it's also
fragrances
funny.
better be named Manly Musk.
Now, it's ocean, jungle, fire, grass, powder, flowers, and metal are the 7 smells.
I'll tell you what,
Panther.
guys, the last thing I want after last night is the smell of fire when I'm playing any games. That's definitely the last thing I want.
I wonder,
just
what does powder smell like?
Is this the Scarface simulator?
Kind of powder we're talking here, yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, ole, we're ready to go.
I can smell the blue.
It's like, oh my god. And I'm going to throw in very quickly that application that I was searching for is the Sin Speed app available now on the App Store. This is not a paid product placement. It's just a cool little app if you're a racing game player. Check it out.
For more information.
Damn it, I was going to say that.
No annotations. No habla annotations.
You don't speak annotations? You write them, you type them.
Exactly. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Yeah, Xbox One and PS4 updates apparently. So currently this month's Xbox One, I don't own an Xbox One, but okay, let's get on with this. March's system update for Xbox One, you're getting screenshots apparently, guys. Yay,
I take them all the time.
screenshots. You know, and you can set your screenshot as your background, and apparently you can upload them to your OneDrive, Twitter, and the usual places.
That just freaks me out because, like, you know, me and Kahuna, we both played like Hardline on the Xbox, and like every 2 seconds it would like record the game clip on its own.
God, that was so annoying.
And see if it starts doing screenshots as well, it's going to be like, come on, guys, I've not got any space left anywhere because I've got a billion Hardline screenshots in this one game.
And apparently you're going to be getting suggested friends. So if you've got a friend and they've got friends and they're not your friends, it's going to suggest friends to you, apparently.
Seeing as I'm hugely antisocial, yay!
Yeah.
No.
And they're going to be rolling out sharing your name. There's going to be new ways to share your real name with your friends and anyone else on the Xbox Live community, which is...
So it is
a
one
copy of the PS4.
So is one telling people, and is the other having them guess by doing what, charades?
Who knows?
Maybe that is finally the use for Kinect. I shall tell you what my gamer tag / real name is via charade. So first word, 2 syllables.
And they're going to be doing party chat enhancements. You'll be getting some new icons to show things. Yay! Like,
can I get a working party chat? That's what I'd like.
You're going to get an icon when you're using a headset, and well, I don't know, there's a lot of other stupid things that
whether
don't
using
matter.
a headset or whether using the Kinect for your audio, because everybody wants to hear what you're saying. I will say
people
one
do
thing.
want to hear what you're saying. Unfortunately, like in the current party chat, you have to quit out occasionally because they just stop being able to hear you.
It's like, no, God damn it.
And you're going to be getting some tile transparency as well, so that you can see your background images more.
My Xbox One fantasy is now complete. Tile transparency.
You're going to be able to report spam apparently as well. And if you're in Australia, you're going to be getting support for live TV and One Guide. And also, there's an Xbox One digital TV tuner in Australia too. which is good for you Xbox One users
In Australia?
in Australia. And
I'm proud of you, man.
so PS4, guys, there's going to be pretty much just the same unuseful rubbish as the Xbox One was getting. But
Well, we say that there's some pretty interesting accessibility options coming in for those who, those with maybe physical impairments and difficulty using the system. It's like, you know what? It's like you might not necessarily think of it. I'm not doing the whole politically correct thing, but it is actually quite nice to see that somebody actually said, you know what? Let's do something to help other people get involved in it, and credit to Sony for that.
Yes, that is it. Update 2.50.
2.50 exactly.
Plus, there's a lot of leaked things coming online saying that you're going to be able to remap the buttons, so you can change what the buttons actually do. So,
well, that's on that as well. Yeah, that's in there. You've got the remapping the buttons, the customization button assignments. You've got your suspended play when you're putting the system into rest mode, so suspend play of your game or whichever else, Netflix, whatever you've got going on at the time. And I'm trying to see what else is going on here.
the touchpad will be able to play and pause. I don't know if you just said that. No, you did. Yeah,
possibly.
Share play, that was it. They're going to be upgrading share play so it runs at 60 frames a second. And
remapping the buttons will be really confusing. It'll be like, press X, and it's like, wait a minute, triangle's my new X.
What did I say that do? Yeah, it's a bit bizarre one.
What else is going on? PS4 will automatically delete games at 0% trophy progression from your list, making it easy for navigation. So if you've got a bunch of games on your tile list there, so it's going to go bye-bye if you've not got any trophies for it. And I think that's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah, pretty much all of it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, keeping on the PS4, if I can just move this on. Good luck for all our Chinese viewers, as Sony have released the dates for the PS4 and PlayStation Vita in China as March the 20th. Woo! 9 days from the day we film this broadcast.
It's one of these things, it's like, you know what, it's like, while that has zero impact for us, that is a huge boon for Sony.
It definitely, it's like earlier this year, China lifted like the ban on foreign consoles, which had been like in effect for 14 years.
Which is terrifying when you think about it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's brilliant, but there's some quite cool, stuff coming out, like the bundles you're going to get and things like there's a Vita bundle that comes with Final Fantasy X and 10 Part 2 HD. You get like Trials Fusion, Rayman, Legends, Dynasty Warriors 8, Knack with the PS4. But they're also releasing special edition consoles of the game, which is the Dragon Edition, which I don't know if it's slightly racist or not, but, it continues on from our talk last week. I'm looking at the picture right now, and Sony, you do not know how to make a customizable console.
It's pretty weak, isn't it?
The Dragon Edition. It looks like they just ran out of material halfway through, and it's just like the top half is a dragon and the bottom half is a normal console. It's like, did you run out of the picture? What's going on? Just keep drawing down. It would look so cool if it was like a full length thing. But I can see what it is, because like the Vita's got a special carry case which has got the same logo on it, and it's the same section of the logo, so I can kind of see what they were doing, but I just think it looks pretty crap, because the top half's all gloss by the looks of it, and the bottom half's its normal matte type finish, the same as what it is now, but it's got this like good picture on it, and it's like, what is this? Get one here.
They might as well just slap the menu for a Chinese takeaway on the side there and just glued it on, like, yay, look, dragon.
That is racist.
That is racist.
I'm so editing that out. There's just going to be a point where it's like, they should have just, I'm so editing that out, and people are like, what did he say? Create some mystery.
Well, yeah,
so, I shortened my runtime by 5 seconds.
Yeah, so continuing on, PS4 sales have hit 20.2 million units.
Woo!
Oh
Go Sony. You know what? Congrats to Sony. You've had a hard time of it, certainly, because let's be honest, it's like Microsoft can always fall back on the fact that, Windows and licensing for servers make some money hand over fist. What Bill Gates, I know he obviously has nothing to do with Microsoft anymore, but he has recently reclaimed position as the world's richest man, at least for the next 5 minutes until somebody's shares go up or down. I don't know how it works. I'm not that rich. I just sit and go, yes, you have money. You have more money than you had when I started speaking to you. That is interesting.
Do you know that the IKEA guy is on the top 10 or the top 15? The guy that like owns IKEA.
He should be after the amount we spent the weekend.
Yes, but apparently he's like the cheapest man ever. He doesn't spend like any money, and he drives like a 1980s Volvo or something ridiculous like that.
Well, as you should. 1980s Volvos are awesome.
I know, but when
reliable.
When you're like number 9 on the Forbes 100, rich list,
richest list,
maybe like a 2012, Volvo.
Push the boat out, Only 250,000 miles on the clock,
Exactly.
Oh Lord. Again, go back to one of the stories from last week with GDC. We also made mention of some new technology and Nvidia going batshit crazy with the new Titan X. You have some more news on this one, don't you, Rich?
I do, but there's some benchmarks floating around the old internet. I've seen a picture of the Titan X, and I am very, very upset on how it looks. I thought
you're underwhelmed. I think so.
I'm upset because I thought it'd be like amazingly like cool and like next gen, and it looks like every other one, like every other GTX that you can get. It's obviously it looks slightly different because it's a different model, but they've got this random window on it where you can see like the heat sinks, and it's like, what is this? What is this? Come on, Nvidia, come on. Hopefully, like Asus or like Zotac or something like that. Like when they bring their versions out, they
Yeah, how are you going to see that? That's what I don't get. Like, if it's in a tower, you're never going to see that.
Well, so a lot of towers have got like perspex sides, so.
Mine does, but you're going to be like, see that little window to see the heatsink on the graphics card? No.
You'll never see that.
My neck.
Well, it's the fact is,
there's like a heat reason for it, but I don't understand it, and I was really disappointed on how it looks.
I get the feeling that somebody from Nvidia is a big fan of Corvettes, because Corvette had obviously like Lamborghini and stuff do that as well. It's like, what we'll do? We'll make the engine bay cover out of like, glass, because that looks sexy, and you spent a shit ton of money on this car, so show off the power plant.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of go back to Outcast's point. It's like, I do realize, like, in my case, it's like that wouldn't be so much of an issue because the motherboard is horizontal. So, if you look in the side, you can see the graphics card. That's awesome. But yeah, if you're in a standard tower where the motherboard is mounted vertically, that's an interesting viewing angle.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's like, should I want to stick my head and get on it? Oh yeah,
Handstand.
Yeah, that's a nice little bit of aesthetic work there. But yeah,
into my head.
If these like benchmarks are, true and not just like made up, then it's looking like a damn decent card. There's like 2 models of the the Titan X that's coming out. If you compare it against like the 970 like you guys have got, it's
stop showing us up.
It's performing like 60% better than that. So like you're looking at like 3D Mark 11 scores on a GTX 970 of about 14,000, 13.5 to 14,000, and you're looking at about 23,000 on the Titan X. Unless you want to go to the 4-way SLI, which apparently is rocking a score of 63,500.
I'm sure that's just making up numbers. I'm pretty sure 3D Mark or Future Mark, whatever they were running on, that's going, what, we can still throw more at this? What?
What is this magic?
Because that is officially, 48 gig of VRAM on a 4-way SLI setup. It's like, what is this, a render farm? Seriously.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that it's like, I'm just looking down this benchmark and, segueing out slightly, but I do like the fact that there are still AMD cards that are showing up on this.
Oh yeah, 290, 295s, 280s.
Is like coming, like 295X2 is getting some pretty decent benchmarks. It's 29,000, just under. Pretty much.
Know what, Richie, is like, if you were underwhelmed by the design choice, that I've always been a long-term Team Green fan, and that will no doubt alienate some people, but I have used AMD cards, and we've always said bang for buck, you can't go wrong with AMD. However, if you were not blown away by the presentation of what the Nvidia Titan X gave you, I will tell you on your own time, check out the 295 X2, because man, that thing comes with its own goddamn flight case. It is awesome, because basically what they did is, okay, we'll weld these 2 PCBs together, we will give you a massive amount of VRAM, and we'll build in an all-in-one, loop cooler, so you don't have to worry. It's still got fans because they run hot, but it's like it comes with its own aluminium flight case. That's present. That's what you want. You want to feel special when you're spending, 3 times what I spent on my first car on a graphics card. It's like
Yeah, definitely. It's like you're looking at pricing of it, and it's looking at about anywhere between $1,000 and $1,300. I think is what they're guesstimating the price is going to be in the rumor mill.
Yeah, there's
I
nothing
mean, you're spending
confirmed
that
yet.
kind of money on it. You want to get something that's got the looks and it's got the power. You don't want to buy like a piece of crap looking, and then it's the greatest thing ever. That's why all the crappy boy racers out there spend 15 grand on modding the outside of their car when it's still like a standard 1.1
It's
on
like,
the inside.
oh yeah,
Or it's like-
65 wild horses under the hood.
It's like a Ford Escort Gia.
I'm sure there's a story in there somewhere involving a manifold.
This will really save you watches these now.
Exactly. There'll be one
Explosion of
comment.
some sort.
Son of a bitch. But I think we're much hilarious. It'll be, if anybody has watched out to this level, thank you again for your patience. I don't know what you didn't have to do, but I'm glad you didn't have to do it and you stuck with us. But yeah,
Listen, I'm out of stories.
okay, we're out of stories. Moving on.
No, we're not.
No. There's one final thing. Come on, Outcast.
basically, we are going to start playing some. Well, actually, I did try to convince the guys to get the game, and it turns out I didn't actually need to convince them all that much, to be honest. But we're going to be playing Nazi Zombie Army Trilogy. We're going to go all the way through the games. We're going to do them all, and hopefully have some.
Wait, no one said
hilarity
anything about
with
all
it.
the games.
We're doing them all. We own them all. We're doing them all. Why not?
Annotation to follow.
Annotation to follow in the future once we actually record some game footage.
Well,
Well,
I think
Kahuna will go back and edit this and put the annotation onto the footage once it's been uploaded. That is
Yeah.
that is an SDM promise.
That is the SDM love promise. We will do it. If he doesn't do it, he's gonna shut his channel down for good.
you know what?
I'm shutting it down now.
Shut it down.
I am strong in the power of editing. You guys are going to look at this upload and go, I'm pretty sure the podcast was more than 5 minutes long.
I'll just be like, hey guys, here's the podcast. See you later.
Let's-
Zombie Army Trilogy footage coming.
See ya.
And thanks for the podcast.
This is SDM Kahuna. Son of a bitch.
SDM Richie and Outcast were taken ill this week and couldn't do the podcast.
It's just a completely different file. Yeah, it's not even the same one we was recording. It's just him speaking to himself.
It's like I will literally call up 2 random people on the phone and just ask them a couple of questions and record the audio. It's like, that's a podcast. But, guys.
Who is this? Why are you asking me questions?
It's
What's
3
the ti-
a.m.
What's the
How did you
time
get this number? Oh, well, it's like, I think I've taken up enough of you fine gentlemen's time. It's like, Richie, I shan't keep you any longer from your ice fishing and your Swedish supermodels.
Yeah, I've got a few words to have with this Sven. He's I don't like what I was hearing at the start.
It's fine. We'll always have Tillicutry.
Leave a comment if you know where Tillicutry is.
And if you can find it any,
Annotation to the
There'll be an
Google Maps
annotation to the
above.
map.
if you can find it any damn faster than I had to fucking find it, congratulations. Because it's nowhere near what they said it was. But that's a story for another day. So, guys, Outcast, Reggie, thank you both for joining us again for another hilarious and fact-filled SDM podcast. Don't all shout out at once.
Well, it's like, you remember the start of last week? We just did it and then we had to you had to say it, so unfortunately we're just going to keep stum so we don't speak over each other.
Well, actually, you know what? Never mind. Outcast, thank you so much for joining me.
Okay.
You suck. Richie, thank you so much for joining me.
Yep, no problem.
You told me you were at the manor.
He's found a cave, an underground ice cave.
You have
Exactly.
turned this podcast into a distribution of lies. I shall not have it. Oh, God. To anybody who has been brave and forthright enough to stick with us this long, thank you so much for sticking with us. We really do appreciate it. Please sign off in the comment section below if you find anything remotely interesting, informative, or otherwise disturbing. I'm hoping that we'll at least get a few hits. But again, guys, thank you so much for your time, and this is SDM Kahuna signing off.